115 days. But, we're not really in agreement of this timeline. So, yeah, we will let you know. We will let you know. But we do know this. We do know that Richard was whistleblowing. We do know that we have evidence, hard evidence. Remember way back when we were told that we had to investigate our son's case ourselves, because they wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't do anything unless we brought them leads. We were told they won't do anything unless we brought them leads. And so I'm making sure I see I'm on Facebook. That's great. And so we were forced by the CID and the command, even the command was like, yeah, we can't really help you unless you bring us these leads. And so we were forced to be investigators for our son's case. And we are not investigators. We weren't then, but we had to learn for the love of our son, to make sure that he was getting investigated, that they were looking for him, right? That they were looking for him. And so we were investigating every possible lead. And of course, we found them because there are criminal activities all over Fort Bliss, and pouring out into El Paso and the surrounding areas, which one of those areas is Mexico, Juarez, Mexico, the state of Chihuahua. So that is, you know, mind boggling that we have found so much evidence. And way back when we were looking for Richard to make sure that our suspicions that he had been murdered, um, was true, uh, we had to look at five possibilities. The possibility that Richard walked away, the possibility that he committed suicide, the possibility that he had been injured, the possibility of abduction, and possibility of murder. So we added the possibility of being injured, and but all of that has been debunked except for abduction and murder. So we know now at 1,314 days. I mean, think about it, or I should say, 1,200, over 1,200 days, that that Richard did not walk away. We have hard evidence that Richard did not walk away. We have circumstantial evidence enough for any jury to absolutely know that Richard did not walk away. We have irregularities that prove that Richard did not walk away. Also, with the suicide, we have the same. It has all been debunked. There is no way that Richard committed suicide, um, because we have the the hard evidence, the circumstantial evidence, and of course the irregularities that prove that. And anybody that properly reviews Richard's case, knows that Richard didn't walk away, was not suicided, and didn't commit suicide, and was not injured. So there's these last two left over, and that is abduction. And we believe the abduction is part of Richard's case, and that it came in the form of a false arrest, that they falsely arrested him. And we know that from leaked information. Leaked information. I don't even say leaked information. I hate to use that word. I want to say that information coming to us, released information coming to us shows a concerted effort, that they were setting Richard up, and they were trying to cover up for the crimes that they were committing, and they were tampering with witnesses, and we're looking into if they were bribing. So if they were bribing witnesses, if they were bribing officials, if they themselves had been bribed to take this class. I just would like to know if Sean Bernabe was bribed. Hey, we'll give you a third star if you cover this up, this major crime. So, hi Danielle, thank you for coming on. So, uh, so it was worth making another video today on hard evidence, because there's so much hard evidence. We haven't forgotten about Anthony Swafford and the MPs. We haven't forgotten about the canines. We haven't forgotten about Asia Graham's case, that gives us hard evidence. Um, and look at in the newspaper today or this week, was make sure I have the right date on it. But anyway, I was given a newspaper article that I think is really important. So, Team Find Richard Halliday is alert and understands this case involves the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints. They know that Leilani Hart is Jesus Christ, is a Mormon, is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints. That Tavita Nusa is a member, pays his tithes to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints. And also, Danae Katzen is also a Mormon, and many, many more. Thomas Kane is a Mormon. Ann Ogle is I believe she is also a Mormon. I don't, I have to look. I have to look on that one. But I think so. I think so. And, she could correct me on that one. And, Dallas Hart is a Mormon, and, or grew up as a Mormon. And now we're getting information that there is an incest problem in the Mormon community, that they have a sexual abuse problem in the Mormon church, with an incest problem that's rampant, uh, as this article states, an allegation that there's an incest problem in the church, and it's been going on for a long, long time. Well, isn't that what Leilani Hart had notarized, her statement saying that this has been going on for a long, long time? This incest, this child sexual abuse in her family. Uh, you know, it gives you chills, right? It gives you chills that now we're being corroborated by what's in the news. And I'm hoping that that is, uh, well, we have enough uh, evidence, absolutely, but more evidence is coming in. And now we did receive confirmation from the law enforcement authorities that they have taken another one of our complaints, and they've confirmed it, that they are looking into this other area. And we want to know about the bribes. We really do. We want to know about the accounting and the bribes, because I think you just have to follow the money. But there is some more. I hope you all had a great day. I had a great day. It is 11. It was such a busy day um, that I hope everyone is alert and and ready to go even at 11 o'clock at night because we have an internal. This is like a civil war, and you're not really allowed to rest fully, right? You're not allowed uh, to rest fully. You have to put on the full armor of God. You have to fight what is uh, the ideology. You know, this is a war of ideology. This is, and of course, there are victims in this, and people that do not, that want to reorganize our whole law structure, okay? They don't want um, uh, incest to be a violation of the law. They don't want um, uh, child sexual abuse to be a violation of the law. They don't want, it's just like, what was that governor of Virginia's name that wanted to abort, kill babies after they were born, right? He wanted to um, kill babies after they were born, make them comfortable. This is such horrible stuff. Whereas on the other side of it, we want to value life, we want to respect life, we want to fight for life, and we also want to make sure that our children um, are not sexually abused and not subjected to these sexual cults. And so this is definitely an, like a civil war of ideology. That's what this is. How shall we now live? By what laws are we going to live by? Are the Ten Commandments not good enough? Is every word that proceedeth from the mouth of God, that is law word, not good enough? And this is a question that I'd like to ask to Lilani Hart. Why isn't that not good enough? Why is that not good enough? Why do you just think one thing that really got me was Belen Rocha when Richard was like, "Don't do it. They don't respect you. The guys, they're just horny. They just want to see you naked." And she's like, "Wow, you're weird. You're weird." You know, that really showed that this is an ideological war, and that she uh, was unfamiliar was unfamiliar with the other side, right? She didn't realize there was another side. Maybe that's what it is. She didn't realize that there's another side to this, that there is such a thing called a godly society, that we do want to protect our children and let them have a beautiful upbringing, and as good as we can give them anyway, as good as we can give them, without being subjected to this grooming sex cult stuff. And Christians always get this bad rap, like where in TV shows and stuff like that. It aggravates me. It's reminds me of my Oma when she would watch Hogan's Heroes. She did not like that because it made the Germans look dumb, and she said the Germans are not dumb. Um, and it's dangerous to think to make a threat. Not that I'm saying that Germany is a threat, but the whole Hitler regime was a threat to make them look dumb. It is dangerous to present that onto the youth, that these were just dumb enemies. You need to be vigilant because they are clever. They are clever in the psych warfare and manipulating evidence, manipulating. They used to use those blow up tanks. So people would, the enemy would think that they had a tank there, but it really was just an air balloon, right? Just a bouncy house. And, so they would deceive, and they did so much harm. And to portray the deceiver as someone silly and dumb, she said, is not preparing them in the full armor of God to, um, fight this ideological war, to you don't want that to happen again, right? And, to have law enforcement agents go to a witness, go to a whistleblower, go to someone that is concerned about Richard's case and about the security on Fort Bliss, and bully them and to try to prevent them from going forward with their congressional inquiry. What do you call these people that do such a thing, right? That are just bullies, and they are law enforcement agents, um, and they don't go and arrest Leilani Hart for all of her crimes that she's committed, all of her interference that she has done, and yet for an innocent person, they, you know, eh, it's strange what crimes they identify, because they don't even identify the real crimes that are on the books. They go and make up their own crimes, um, that are not crimes at all. They manufacture crimes, they manufacture witness testimony, they manufacture a narrative, and they do their utmost to obstruct the real witnesses, to obstruct the real narrative, to obstruct real testimony on the events of what happened. So, talk about deceiving. It what I'm trying to get at is that it is way more than what we even know, right? It's way more than what we even know, what they have done here in Richard's case, and on Fort Bliss, and in the surrounding El Paso area, and into Mexico. They're up to no good. And so, if this case just, um, doesn't get any response, and we keep on trying to shed light on all of this, um, you know, there there's no stopping the exposing of what's going on. Okay, there's no stopping it. And so we have all of this evidence to prove that there's nothing to stop it. The evidence is just growing up like rocks, and we haven't forgotten about Anthony Swafford. We haven't forgotten about the canines. We haven't forgotten about Nadal Baim. We haven't forgotten about Danae. We haven't forgotten about these other outlining people that were brought to us as witnesses, and that, praise God, we didn't really believe them, and so we didn't make too much of a deal with it. But the thing is we want to know through the accounting if there were bribes paid, if there was bribes paid for this tampering with Richard's investigation. And the investigation right now is a botched investigation. And I can tell you this from what I know, the Walmart case is also a botched investigation. And so these law enforcement agents, they are not identifying the crimes, they are not investigating the crimes, and they're not prosecuting the crimes. It's just that that's what it seems like what is happening, for very, very good reason. So, and all roads lead to Leilani Hart, because are they not arresting anything else? Because that would mean they would have to arrest her, right? And they absolutely have to arrest her. She's, absolutely they need to arrest her. And all roads lead to her. right? And Leilani Hart, can you imagine? 85,000 missing minors from 13 to 17 years old for the most part. There are some younger, but for the most part, they're 13 to 17-year-olds. Where are they putting them? I mean, you would think that they would be crying out on the street. 85,000 of them. I lived in Longford, Ireland, Longford County, Longford Town. 7,500. I can't even imagine all of them, disappearing. And that's only, that's less than a tenth of the 85,000 unaccounted for minors, you know. And Leilani Hart is part of that. Is Leilani Hart part of that? Because all roads lead to Leilani Hart. And, they were doing Heart Child Care through 3705 Bliss Avenue. Is that what it was? Or no? Was it their own home address? Were How many LLCs were they involved in? And did they connect to the Van Buren? Did they connect to the Bliss Avenue homes? We would like to know that. Because, if they're using buildings that are owned by William Beaumont Army Medical Center to do trafficking, and please God, let it not be child porn production, you know. And I know there's a huge problem on Fort Bliss that they film things and then they try to sell the movies. That's another really terrible avenue to go down, because we already have enough, right? We have enough with the weapon smuggling, the equipment smuggling, the ammunition smuggling, these tactical move storage units. You can put a lot in those tactical move storage units, those big metal boxes. And in Sound of Freedom, they put children in them, right? They traffic children in these tactical move storage units. And we know that in the barracks, it was flush with weapons. And we know, even from this year, that those flush with weapons are unregistered weapons. They're unregistered. They have an unregistered weapon problem even in 2023, even though I have been talking about it for 3 years. For 3 years. And so, of course, our leaks are pointing to the command. They have all the tools. We know that with the whole COVID thing, right? COVID showed us that if they wanted to click heels together, if they wanted to coerce all the service members on their installation to do what they wanted them to do, they could, through this whole COVID thing, right? And yet, seeing the crime, seeing the narcotics marketplace right there in the barracks where soldiers can buy whatever illegal substance they want, right? And in Boleyn listed them all off. I mean, she knew she was, she reminded me of being in Korea, and I going into this shop. And this one that I'm thinking particularly about was like a makeup shop, and they could list off everything in their shop. Boom, 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 boom. That is how Belen Rocha listed off drugs, illegal substance drugs. Here I am, much older than she is, and I didn't know that. I didn't know any of that stuff. And she is just listing off in all their names or nicknames and all of that. And I'm like, wow. Wow, is she in the business of this? That was, that was a little bit of evidence there that she's in the business of this. How does she know it so well? Don't tell me it's her being just a teenager. I mean, yeah, no, 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 something is not right here. And so even with them knowing that there's all kinds of illegal substance, even with Asia Graham dying from a fentanyl laced medication, the generals didn't care. They did not do any. They chose not to do anything. They chose not to do the right thing. They chose not to solve the problem of sexual assault, of the incest, of the pedophilia, of the giving out this child porn and producing it and selling it. They decided not to do anything about cleaning up their uh, their installation, right? And now they're trying to sell us it's a good place to live when you have soldiers with unregistered weapons going out into El Paso and shooting people dead, right? And they choose to do nothing to make it better. They choose not to. They have all the resources. We know that because of COVID. They have all the resources to make a change, right? To click the heels together. And they choose not to arrest Lalani Hart right now. Um, sh- uh, you know, but that's our word is her arrest is imminent because of other agencies, other agencies that are stronger and don't want to put up with um, this corruption, this abuse, the assault, the so many problems. And she has, her and James Hart have a divorce hearing coming up at the end of this month, and we'll be watching that um, uh, with interest to see if we can follow some monies, follow some information to, yeah, to get more information about the whereabouts of our son. So, uh, the evidence keeps piling up, piling up, piling up. And the more that the evidence piles up, the worse their punishment is going to be, right? Um, you know, right from the very get go, when I reached out to her, she should have contacted and clarified all of this, but she didn't do that. That's another bit of um, evidence. It's like Eddie Rocha not calling us back when we called him. Why not? Why not? And why, if Lalani is denying all things, because we get this, we get the word that she's denying, 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 denying. She's just in denial of all that has happened. So if she's in denial, if she thinks everything is, just fine, then why does she have a hard time making her case on this live stream, right? So, or giving a call. That's uh, really something to think about because silence is consent. Silence is, you know, eh, I mean, isn't that odd? Isn't that odd? So, and the same thing with Jay Paulin. The same thing. So, but it is unmistakable. Lalani Hart's colluding with with Anna with with Ann Ogle. I wanted to say Anna Whitehead. Did Lalani Hart collude with Anna Whitehead? Maybe God wanted me to say that. I don't know. Because Anna Whitehead, of course, is Park University. And Park University, too, is odd. Is odd. But I wanted to say that Lalani Hart, absolutely, there's no doubt in my mind, with Thomas Kane being in business with Anne Ogle, Leilani Hart's relationship with Thomas Kane's relationship with Leilani Hart, and with Anne Ogle, very close relationship with Anne Ogle, and in business with Anne Ogle. Okay, they have businesses together. What is that business? We'd like to follow the money. And so that's what we're going to bring up is Anne Ogle, because I just feel like Anne Ogle has a lot of answered questions in Richard's case, okay? Being the professor at Park University, an administrator with CYS, over 85,000 unaccounted for minors, and Richard having um, this uh, course that he's uh, trying to become a CID agent. And yeah, you heard me right. He was trying to become a CID agent and taking courses at Park University, and this CID internship, the CID internship. So absolutely, Anne Ogle is no new Richard. And I really feel like the huge collaboration in all of this, because Anne Ogle is connected to Raven Aerostar. She's connected to Raven Aerostar. She seems to be connected to this Cessna 550. Um, and, whose loyalties, whose ownership. It's very, very interesting. And don't forget about our big evidence with the phone traces. We traced 4 uh, burner phones. We traced 4 burner phones, and we submitted that hard evidence. And it's, uh, every one of them, I believe every one of them, NATO, the White House, um, Canada government building, um, government buildings, FBI, law enforcement buildings in Korea. Uh, I'm trying, in Santa Clara, California, Stanford University. That's a biggie. So, yeah, we have a lot of hard evidence, and the lack of responding to that. But we did get a response from authorities about accepting uh, an investigation. So that is well, the case is cracking, and they know it. They know it. It's cracking open. They can't stop it. They can't stop it. So it's going to be interesting who gets on what side now, because uh, the case is cracking, and they have to decide who is going to be the winner, right? Who's going to be the ideological winner? Because one wants the Ten Commandments, one wants love and peace and the Beatitudes, and right, all of the Beatitudes, and then the other wants uh, pedophilia, um, sex cults, very dark life. So this is um, this is definitely a war on ideology, and we need to fight for our side. We need to fight for our side. We can do that with um, copying this and pasting, making your own videos, liking this, making your own videos, making your own comments. That's how you can help. So, thank you everyone so much for coming on tonight. And please sign the petition for the soldier. We cannot let him think that he's alone. He is not alone. And I just really, really thank him so much for putting in this inquiry. Uh, uh, or a request for a congressional inquiry. I'm just so grateful for that. So if you have any questions, thank you, Danielle, Grace, thank you so much. Um, and please get other people to sign the petition to just keep them safe. That's all that is just to keep them safe. There should be thousands of signatures on there to support his request for a congressional inquiry to just keep him safe, right? So, thank you so much. God bless you. And I will be back tomorrow, God willing.